Hey people, Fellow Blank here, and today on Start It Up we have this beautiful 2018 Mercedes AMG GT C Roadster. Now, not deceivingly, this is quite a quick car, and it makes going fast look really good. So, without further ado, let's get into it and start it up. Now, there's little that needs to be said about Mercedes-Benz, a German car manufacturer that's really been around since the beginning, 1886, when Carl Benz helped develop the first automobile, and they, to this day, are still making some incredible cars that push the boundaries on the track and in family life. Now, jumping into the AMG GT C, you have a coupe that pulls a lot of the racing heritage from Mercedes' long-term reputation, along with the comfort and opulence you'd expect from a Grand Tourer. It combines those, and what you get here is maybe not the fastest car, but you get a car that is incredibly smooth while being incredibly powerful. This car really is something that you can get used to driving every day and have a blast whenever you need to get a little more speed out of it. Now, the MSRP on the AMG GT C is around $175,000 for certain options, but you can really pick them up between $140,000 and $150,000. The car you get for that price, though, really has an impressive amount of tech in there. Now, the body is almost all aluminum along with the frame, and the hood and certain other components are a magnesium and aluminum alloy. One of the key features of this car is the dynamic steering in the rear. So based off of what speed you're going in a corner, the back will compensate to help guide the rear end around, making it feel like a little bit of a shorter of a car. The wheelbase on this car is 103 inches. It has a length of 179.2 inches and a width of 79. Now, this car sits nicely into the luxury coupe class, but they really have so much extra tech in here and thought into things such as making sure the calipers are on the center of each of the wheels, trying to bring the center of gravity right towards the inner of the car. Things like the carbon fiber drive shaft and really all of the weight distribution just to get it balanced right. Now we'll go ahead and get into the powerhouse of this beaut. Under the hood we have a AMG hand-built V8 bi-turbo engine. Now, the engine is capable of putting out 550 horse. It has a 502 foot-pounds of torque. To me, it really is like Germany's take on the American Viper. Now, it doesn't have your V10 of the Viper, but you're getting a dual-turbo V8, which really is outputting the same amount of power that was comparable to the Viper, but it comes with a lot more refinement, a lot more dynamic control in the suspension, and just a kind of a cleaner package overall. Mercedes claims the AMG can push out 196 miles per hour, so right up on that 200 miles per hour mark, but not something I want to mess around with. On the front here, we have the intake, which will vent your air into the hood, brings it through, and then blows it over the back of the turbos. The 0 to 60 on this car is 3.3 seconds, and a quarter mile I can do at 11.4 seconds up to 126 miles per hour. I've always been super satisfied with the engine in this thing, and I don't think it lacks power. Definitely puts a smile on my face every time I drive it. Now, the key is the standard Mercedes style key for the time with the plug for where you insert it. It's got the unlock, lock, and trunk. It does not have a hood on this one, but you also have your emergency key, manual cut, slide on the bottom there. So open up the trunk here. But even though it is the coupe, you actually have a very spacious trunk here in the back. The convertible tucks away is hidden in the front near the cab. So the back is not lost from that. And you really do have enough space for a couple duffels. But you got the sub over on the side, and you have the emergency release button there, just in case somebody happened to get stuck in your trunk. Now, like most supercars, there is no spare in the back, but we do have a little link tucked away here. Screw that into your frame in case you ever have to get towed. Hopefully you don't need that one. And then also on the side here we have your compressor and a little fix-it-flat kit. So if you ever do get a flat, you're going to have to fix it yourself or just call for help. Also included is this little bitty Mercedes first aid kit, because why not for the price? So with the key, got the unlock, we'll go ahead and get in. I've said it once and I will continue to say it, this is one of my favorite cars to be behind the wheel of. The interior itself, it just oozes opulence. I mean, you have your quilted pattern stitching on the doors, on the seats. By far the premiumness feel of over really so many other cars, even the McLaren, which is covered in the Alcantara. You just have leather and even nice cloth and everything. It really gives that premium luxury feel. The controls though are where things get a little odd. So there's multiple ways to do like starting it and a lot of the controls, which not one of them is necessarily the best way to do it in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and get this guy turned on, which is bringing up the first fact. You have a wireless key, so you can hit engine start stop, fits just fine there. Or open up your glove box where we have 2 USBs, your SD port. You can put the key into the slot and then you have a turn key to start. So leave that in there. Now again, since that key is on, you can't shut it off anymore with your button. So this is useless unless you're using it wirelessly, which I think most people are going to. First, starting off with your center console, again, a little odd. This, you have a touch swipe kind of sensor, and that is how you control what's going on with your screen. You also have a knob, which is directional, which also controls what's going on your screen. And then you can rotate, which also controls what's going on your screen. Now this is not touchscreen, so it doesn't help to mess with any of that, but I just find that really unique to have so many ways to do this. You have this back button here and here. You have your favorited star button here and here, so preference between that doesn't really matter. And then you just have a quick skip button where you can do skip and then rotate to skip tracks or swipe to skip tracks. So a little bit interesting on that. I can't say I'm a huge fan on the controls itself. Now in the settings, you have a lot of specialty kind of options that you would expect from this high end of a Mercedes. So different things like your seatbelt adjustment, auto up and down, your mirror folding, locator lighting on the edges. All of these are very well planned out and controllable, so that is definitely cool. On your dynamic select, this is where you get into more of the setup itself for the engine, how it rides, how you can set your personal settings there. I really love how it shows the inside of the car. You can see the drivetrain hidden in below. Get your transmission there, your rear controls, your exhaust. Really impressive, some of the extra features they did with that. We'll go ahead and get into the climate part of the car. Definitely got all the bells and whistles you could expect from a high-end Mercedes. You got your seat heaters, you have your coolers, and you have the signature air scarf. So the way it works is, since it's convertible, Mercedes likes to put the heated air scarf into your chair, and what it is a built-in vent here. It blows air around your neck on a cooler day out. So signature, a little funny, but really beneficial option. I like that there. Here is your wing control. You can set it up and down for your rear spoiler, hazards, parking brake, shut it off and on, and then your passenger side as well. Down here with the other buttons, you have your torque curve mode. What it is individual is how you set it up for your personal preference. You have your comfort mode, your sport plus, and then race. What it's doing is just switching between the suspension it's got built in. It's switching between your transmission, how aggressively it shifts, your exhaust settings, just a lot of things quickly set up for there. Here you have your manual shift. If you want to use your paddle shifters or have it do it itself. This is your volume control for the music. Auto start for when you come up to a parking lot, turn it on and off. And then this is just if you want to put that on, and then low quieter. This is controlling how stiff your suspension is. So you have the Sport, then you have the Sport Plus, and then traction control off. Now the shifter knob on this is a little joystick, but you have to hit the button for park. I'm really not a fan of that. I like to go and put it into put it into park, but here when you stop you have to click this little button. So new models revise that a bit, but on the 18s that's how it is. Now one thing with the controls, this is how you quickly pull up where your AC settings are, because you have your temperature control here, the mode, the fan speed, auto, defrost, things like that, but you do not have any way of knowing what your temperature is at. So you click this button up and that flips the top. So you flip it down, flip it up. That is how you see where your AC is at quickly. Now it's only available on the screen to see what your climate is set at, but it's kind of cool because you can see, okay, 76 is going to start blowing hotter air, ambient air, and then once you get below, it flips it to cool air. So definitely like some of that. We'll flip between your different modes. It's showing you how it's set. So again, a lot of nice little features, but also not the easiest design for them. Now, coming over the wheel, it also has its quirks. So you have your volume control here, but you do not have a way to skip the songs. So normally your left side or your up down would be changed between your music, but that is how you control your settings up on the display screen. So there might be some way to get to it. Say if we went to media, okay, and then I can now skip. But you have to be in that specific mode to change any of that. You do have your wireless controls for Bluetooth phone, so that can be pretty handy, but no Apple CarPlay. Yeah, your up and down shifters on the side. Again, this is your modes to control between what's going on up on your display. There is no windshield wiper on that side. It's all built into your blinker, left, right, and then the tip here is how you swap between modes on the wiper. And then down here is where you click to open up your trunk, and then your parking brake. So I guess emergency parking brake. When you're in park, you lock the transmission, but when you pull this, you actually lock up your brake system. Okay, now that we've walked through the interior, we're gonna go ahead and put her in gear and take off and go get this thing on the road. Obviously, Mercedes was not trying to build the absolute fastest car possible with this one, but still 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Still got your 550 plus horse. So this thing rips. Woo-hoo. I love it. So well for your daily experience, and then when you want to rip it, you got all that power ready to go. So you could take this out for track day, and those massive 12-inch tires in the rear with that power down fast and aggressively. Convertible up to 37 miles per hour. You hold the switch and it will close for you quickly. So if you're ever caught in the rain, you can just slow down, pop it up like that, no time at all. You can still hear the engine very well. sunny days. You're grand touring, it's smooth. Even though it's convertible, it's not aggressively loud. The audio sounds incredible. Now the transmission, the clutch has got switches so quickly, I don't even like messing with the paddles. Obviously, you can have that experience, but it does a fine job leaving it in the auto mode. Your shifts are quick, just as you can hear them, going through when it needs it. Those twin turbos, there's a little bit of spool time just to get them going. Obviously, you can't have it without that, but it is very quick. And you can hear just the start of the whistle before your exhaust takes over. So you just hear, and then, boom, it's gone. But that backfiring is lovely. These rear tires are incredibly thick. Look at those boys. And the stance on the GT C versus the normal GT is wider. And you get the wider body kit here on the side panelings. And you get the Michelin Pilot Super Sports extra fat tires. And that's all I got here today for you on the Mercedes AMG GT C. I absolutely love this car. It's incredibly beautiful. I mean, even if it's not as aggressive as some of the other supercar designs, it's just opulent. Like, that is my word for it. Great work of art, a lot of fun to drive, plenty of power, and it just is a blast overall. So let me know down below if you got any questions or comments on the car. I'll do my best to get back with you. So thanks for your time. Have a good day.